Hello, this video is designed to help you with your research online or to just look up information, be able to gather it, and to quote the source. So you may want to watch, especially when it comes to how to find and how to save websites for future use. So I'm going to go down here to Google Chrome because that's my preference. And I'm going to go to a search engine. So a search engine, of course, is a place like Google or Yahoo or Bing or some other places there where you can look up information. However, we got to be careful because there's a lot of interesting things that are found on the internet. We want to make sure it's kid friendly. And so I'm going to type in Google just because I'm in Google Chrome, so I might as well just do what they make. And when I get there, I'm going to type in kid search engines. And so that way it's more appropriate for kids. And I'll look here and say, okay, there's Kiddle, kids. I didn't even spell kids right, so I want to be careful of that. So I'm going to go to Google for Kids search engine. Sometimes these sites are fine, but then they also have a lot of advertisements, and I want to avoid that. So I'll stick with Google because they've been pretty good. And this just goes through and kind of tells you now there is some advertising right here, but it's for school-like things, so I'll give it a pass. Now, with Google Safe Search or with any kind of search engine, you want to put in keywords that will help you find information. So let's say I want to look up about cheetahs. So I'm going to write down cheetahs. Okay. However, if I wanted to be more specific and say, how do cheetahs get their spots? Their spots. I'm going to write that entire question down because then it will look for each of those words in an article. So I'll go ahead and click on enter. Now, when I first get it, the first thing we want to do is look at the very first result. But one thing we got to be careful of. You notice here where it says ad. This is an advertisement, which means that someone has paid money to get their website up there first. So before you click on it, I would double check to see if it really is a website that you feel would be useful. So this says facts about cheetahs in Africa. Search here. But it says facts about cheetahs, easy to use, visit us now, find quick results. It doesn't say anything about science or cheetahs. All search sites, the answer hub, smarter.com. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I would avoid anything that says ad because they may be trying to get you to separate your money from you. So instead, I like to scroll down to the actual results. Why do cheetahs have spots? Now I want to look and see the address to see if it's legitimate. National Zoo, that seems pretty good. So M. Donnan Lodge, I'm not quite sure what that is. Science Illustrated. That seems like it might be a legitimate one, so let's click on that. Now, one thing that I want to do is look for the source. Now, oh, look at that. They're already trying to lure me with some advertising that may be appropriate for kids. Now, as exciting as Hero Wars might be, I'm going to go here to the X, and I'm going to click on that to get rid of it. Okay? So I don't want to see that. I mean, maybe another time, but not now. So I'm going to go down to this article. First, I'll kind of scan it to see, well, it's a lot of words there that might be kind of hard to read, but it seems pretty short. Well, we'll give this a try. Now, to do this, I need to be able to find out what the source is. And the source is who wrote it, when did they write it, where did you find this information? So someone can go back and find it themselves and be able to confirm the information that you share was true. So you'll notice here how it has the headline, how the cheetah gets spots. You'll see it was posted by Laura Bones on September of 2012. So that's okay. If you start to see dates that are pretty old, so if you had like September 22nd, 1913, that information is probably a little out of date. So you want to make sure that the closer to when you're looking it up, the better, because that tells you the information is more current. Now, if I'm not real sure as to who this is, I can say, well, view all posts by Laura Bones. Well, let's take a look here. Oh, I better accept these cookies just to say, yes, I will accept the fact that they know I was here. So I'm going to scroll down here and say, is there anywhere that talks about her? Well, let's see. I want to find out that she's someone that can be trusted, someone that has good information about this. So let's see here. Well, looks like that she has all these different sites about protein, science, ancient Roman. Well, she seems pretty legit, so I think I'll accept that for now. So what I want to do is, first of all, get rid of that ad again because it thinks I'm there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the front of this and I'm going to click down the left button of my mouse. And then I'm going to drag the mouse and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to this point here. And then I'm going to lift the button. And then I'm going to right click on the blue part. And I'm going to copy it. Now I'm copying this so that way I make a record of where I found this information. And so you don't have to do this, but this is certainly helpful to me. So I'm going to go down here and open Microsoft Word. And this is where I'll collect this information for use for another time. Now, once I'm here, I will right click, so the right button, again on your mouse, and this time I can paste it. Cut it out, and you paste it down. Now you'll notice these clipboards because a clipboard is something you've saved on your computer, and then it's on your clipboard, and then you want to paste it or put it down somewhere else. So there's other options. You can do it to make it look exactly the way it was on the internet. You can maybe change it so then it looks more like regular text. It's up to you. So I'm just going to leave it just like this because it looks fine. Okay. Now that tells me that this is where it's at. Now I got to be careful. I need to save this document. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back here so I can see all my commands. Go to the file and I'm going to go save as. And I'm going to go to the desktop. Now, if I have a science folder, this would be a great place to put it. But for now, I'm going to write cheetah notes. So this is where I'm going to keep my notes and evidence about cheetahs. Save it. Now that I have this is a good place where I can write down information. Now, be careful. You don't want to necessarily, some people have done this where they go, oh, well, that's great. I'll just copy the whole thing and I'll right click and copy it. And I will right click and paste it. There you go. I'm all done. Well, friends, you just copied someone else's work. This is called plagiarism. So you may want to copy it like this in order to be able to read it, but boy, you cannot cut and paste it into your work. Because if you do that, you've basically stolen from somebody else. You need to paraphrase it or take the parts that you like and then put it in your own words. So if you do this, that's fine, but just make sure that if you do quote something, you include the source. So if you're going to say, well, let's see here, how do the cats get their spots? Let's see here. Well, they also reported in science the loss of one of these genes encodes. Well, that's a little bit hard to understand. It says talk about mutation. All right, so this seems pretty, a lot of big words here. Okay, but maybe it's your thing. I don't know. Okay, so that's one thing where you can study. You can look it up. Now, another way that you can help to collect this information is maybe you're like, all right, this seems like a reasonable site, but I want to keep looking. So maybe you want to make a bookmark. So if you go over here to these three dots here to the right, upper right, click on that, and you can go to your bookmarks. You'll notice all the bookmarks I have, in fact, there's Canvas. I made a shortcut to that site, so I don't have to go through the school website anymore. I'm going to go up to bookmark this tab. So I think how the cheetah got its spots from Science Illustrated. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I'll put it in there's the science section. I made that folder, so I'm going to push done. And then if I go here to science, my other bookmarks, scroll all the way down. And there it is, how the cheetah gets its spots. Here's another one that I had found from National Geographic. And so I can go instantly to those sites. Now, the nice thing about that is that if you go to your bookmarks and go to Bookmark Manager, which is right here, you can then, it shows all of your bookmarks. You can go to any one you've got, and you can go through and you can add folders to help you organize your bookmarks. So you'll notice how I have them for reading, math, science, social studies. So whenever I find a good website, I always make a bookmark and put them in the appropriate folder. So that's about it. So in order for you to be able to get good research, use Kid Search. Be able to make sure that the site that you're on is one that can be trusted, and then make sure to find the source so you know who wrote it, where you got it, whether it's you've got the name of the address up here, or whether you've got someone's name and the date, and you're able to save the site to use it again. Those are all very helpful ways to find the information you need. Thanks for listening.